It was just after midnight in the diamond capital of the world, Antwerp, Belgium, January 16th, 2003. A night so cold it could crack glass, and so quiet you could hear a shutter click from 2 blocks away. But below the frozen streets, behind 10 layers of security, sat the most valuable diamond vault in Europe, holding over $200 million in loose stones, rare gems, and uncut brilliance that had never seen daylight. And in exactly 2 minutes, it would all be gone. The story doesn't begin in the vault. It begins with a man known simply as the Master, Leonardo Notarbartolo, elegant, calm, Italian. A lifetime thief who didn't just steal, he designed art out of crime. For years, he played the long game. He rented an office 2 floors above the vault inside the Antwerp Diamond Center. Legitimate, trusted. He drank espresso with jewelers, attended events. He wore tailored suits and handed out real business cards. For 18 months, he walked past security guards smiling, every step meticulously calculated. Antwerp was the kind of place where trust was currency and vaults were protected by myth. The security system was supposed to be impenetrable. Infrared sensors, seismic detectors, magnetic field sensors, steel-reinforced vault doors with 100 million possible combinations. And then there was the final vault, a foot-thick steel safe housed 2 floors underground, sealed behind a 3-ton gate and a heat-sensitive lock. But Leonardo wasn't working alone. This wasn't a smash and grab. This was choreography, a team of elite specialists, each with their own nickname. The Genius, an electronics wizard who could bypass alarms blindfolded. The Monster, an expert in vault locks with hands like iron and a mind like a safecracker's prayer. The King of Keys, who forged perfect copies of keys just by looking at them once. And the Shade, a phantom who could disappear into shadows, a ghost on cameras. No one knows their real names. They didn't plan a break-in, they rehearsed a performance. The heist took 2 years to plan, not days, not weeks, years. And it wasn't just about stealing diamonds, it was about rewriting the limits of human patience and precision. Cameras were studied, guard routines memorized. Security manuals were found in trash bins. Mock-ups of the vault were built in an Italian warehouse, where the crew practiced, over and over again. Every turn of the key, every beep of a panel, every millisecond between alarm resets was rehearsed like a scene in an opera. By the time they moved, they already knew exactly what they'd face. And they had one invisible weapon, a camera Leonardo had hidden inside an air vent months earlier. Every day it captured footage of the vault's mechanics, the combination dial, the locking bolts, the sensor positions. It fed the crew a live diagram of the most secure room in Belgium. On February 15th, 2003, while the rest of Antwerp celebrated Valentine's weekend, Leonardo walked through the lobby of the Diamond Center one last time. No disguise, no rush. He waved to the guards, smiled. He rode the elevator to his office, removed the false ceiling tile, and disappeared inside the walls. In the shadows of the building's service entrance, the rest of the crew waited. Each man entered separately, minutes apart. The Monster posed as a cleaning contractor with forged ID tags. The Genius timed his arrival during a scheduled supply delivery, blending in with warehouse staff. The Shade entered through an underground parking ramp, swiping a copied access badge lifted weeks earlier. The King of Keys scaled a rear fire escape, slipping in through a disabled maintenance hatch they'd discovered during earlier scouting. Once inside, they navigated the building's bowels, maintenance corridors, just as they'd rehearsed. Leonardo's ceiling route wasn't just for access, it was a path. The crew silently regrouped with him in the hidden crawlspace above the vault corridor. What happened next would become one of the greatest vanishing acts in criminal history. 12 a.m. The building was dark, the guards distant, cameras still rolling but blinded. The Genius had built a device to loop the feed, displaying empty hallways even as the crew moved through them. In less than a minute, they descended into the underground vault corridor. The Monster disabled the magnetic field sensor with a strip of aluminum and a layer of Vaseline. The Genius neutralized the infrared detectors with thermal foam and a black trash bag. A handheld device fooled the heat sensor into thinking the environment remained untouched. They opened the steel gate with a duplicate key the king had spent months forging, and the monster dialed in the code he'd memorized from hours of security footage. The vault door clicked open. 1 a.m. They were inside. The vault was lined with 123 safe deposit boxes, titanium-plated, laser-tagged, but they didn't need to open them all. They knew which ones held the best cuts, thanks to months of inside observation. The shade reached into the dark, pulling box after box off the walls. No explosives, no cutting torches, just drills, wires, and surgical precision. They emptied 109 of the 123 boxes, millions in diamonds, gold, cash, rare gems that had never been appraised. And then, just like that, they vanished. Before they left, they closed the vault door for everything to appear as normal when they leave. No alarms, no blood, no witnesses. They retraced their steps with mechanical precision. The loot, packed in collapsible duffel bags lined with insulation to avoid thermal detection, was divided among them. One by one, they exited through separate routes. The monster returned to the service level and walked out with cleaning supplies. The genius waited for a garbage truck and slipped away wearing a city sanitation vest. The king of keys vanished through a fire door with a broken handle, one he'd personally rigged months earlier, and the shade exited through the same underground parking ramp. Leonardo did not vanish with the rest that night. He knew if he left, suspicion would fall immediately. The next morning, the guard opened the vault as usual and froze. Empty boxes hung open like cracked ribs, debris scattered on the floor. The air reeked of oil and sweat, but the footage, perfectly clean, not a flicker out of place. For hours, no one could understand what had happened. It was too clean, too quiet. The police called it the work of ghosts, but ghosts don't leave breadcrumbs. The first clue was a bag of trash tossed into the woods outside Antwerp by one of the crew members. It contained wrappers, gloves, a half-eaten sandwich, and a receipt, the tiniest slip, but it was enough. The receipt, from a gas station near the Italian border, bore a partial fingerprint. Combined with surveillance from days prior, it gave them the thread they needed. The operation had left no digital trace, but like all human stories, it only took one loose end. Investigators traced it back to Leonardo. They raided his office, found nothing. Then they found the fake ceiling tile and a hidden camera feed. The trail led back to Italy, to a warehouse where they found vault blueprints, drills, practice safes. Enough to prove planning, but not enough to recover the diamonds. Leonardo was arrested and sentenced to 10 years. He never confessed, never revealed names, never explained how they'd bypassed every layer of protection in the vault. In fact, he claimed publicly that the crew had been betrayed, that someone had taken the diamonds after the heist, that they'd only recovered a fraction of the haul, and the real mastermind had vanished with the rest. $200 million worth of stones vanished into the wind, never sold, never traced. No one knows if they were recut, buried, or worn by ghosts at royal galas. Some say they're still in Europe. Others say they were melted down and scattered across the world. The Belgian authorities recovered only a few scattered pieces, barely a dent. And Leonardo, he walked out of prison in 2009, silent, smiling, and still loyal to the code. The Antwerp Diamond Heist wasn't just a theft. It was a message, a demonstration of patience, precision, and impossibility made real. No guns, no violence, just shadows, silence, and 2 minutes of perfect choreography. In a world obsessed with brute force and speed, they proved that the greatest heists happen not in explosions, but in whispers. And somewhere out there, someone still wears a ring or a necklace crafted from a diamond stolen in the quietest, most perfect crime ever committed.